discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, board. And then for those, I do know a few of you, I think you reached out and let folks know already, or maybe not. Somebody did, so somebody sent an email out to their region, letting them know that we made that decision at the last meeting to move the dates for the.
I think it was Michelle.
It was Michelle, okay. I'll make sure to follow up with her. But in case you have communicated previously to any of your members that we had changed the regional meetings, just let them know, psych, nope, we're gonna keep them the same. And that's just to make sure that they were paying attention to the stuff that you were sending them. All right. Next up is the first quarter treasurer's report. Are we gonna have Kim handle this on the phone? Or
Ask her.
how are you feeling?
I'm on.
All right.
Yeah, thank you guys for bearing with me so far. Well, I'm not there coughing all over you, so I think we'll get through this just fine. And as always, I think probably most importantly would be any questions that come to mind as you guys look at it. But I did want to point out some of the pieces that he had in notes and that Carrie and I had spoken about when I had looked at it. This is the end of our first quarter fiscal year, and our fiscal year is August 31st, like September 1, August 31st. So this is end of November, and I point that out because there were still accounting happening and closing up books for the annual conference. So this is not reflective of the net effect of the annual conference. I just want to make sure that's clear for all. And it may be by now that the VSA has finished up their part and Carrie's done, but at least as of this reporting, which is 11/30/19, it's not included. We're down on dues from what was expected by the Washington Central dues. That had not been anticipated, so it will be an impact. It wasn't, I should say it wasn't budgeted at the time. We mentioned this, I believe, at the last time we spoke, that there had been expenses around the collective bargaining that Visit had committed to paying, but it came into this year. So that we are up on that service agreement line for the amount that Visit had provided to cover the end of year expenses for Act 11. There's a piece remaining that's also being covered from the Act 46 implementation project, also settled this year, but incurred last year and part of Visit's commitment. The fluctuation in the benefits is related to our change in staff. The other income was just, Nicole had actually purchased her computer on her way out. We don't normally have an other income line, but we had it in there. And we had, in that miscellaneous category, we had thought we would be using executive director search money and didn't end up needing to do that. So that category is different than anticipated. We think if there are there questions, I think that sort of captures the big stuff. And I do also just want to point out that a feature that I just love that Carrie had been doing last year, and you'll see again after the first quarter, is those items that net out. For instance, the annual conference, we have an income and an expense. She's done those categories below the line for us to see, without having to flip back and forth and do the math ourselves, where we stand relative to what we expected to be in the net on those. It's not on this one because it's not captured in the first quarter, but we expect, Carrie, right, that it'll be in our second quarter report.
Yes.
That was a yes.
Yes.
Okay,
There wasn't enough of them
thank
to
you.
make a number in this one.
Neil, can I ask a newbie
Any
question?
questions from anyone on anything?
Yes,
Mark.
there's one.
Mark Clough, Caledonia. What makes up the accounts receivable?
I Carrie, do you wanna take it, but I can.
The accounts
I can
receivable is
mention
anything we
that
invoice for.
it's billed
Yeah, what are the,
and
what
not
is,
received, but what else is there?
Are those
that I'm
dues?
not thinking of.
the
It's all
55,000?
accounts receivable.
I know.
So accounts receivable is anything I invoice for, so if it's,
It's-
Yeah, but what are they,
Mostly
dues
dues,
coming in
right?
from districts you haven't received yet, or?
Mostly do.
Okay, all right, so there's nothing stale there, you expect to collect all that?
no, there's only there's two places that haven't decided on the dues yet, two SUs, well, SU and a tech center, that haven't decided to pay or not, that's included in there. But we don't have any receivables I'm not expecting to get besides those questionable.
I just didn't know what it made up of.
I'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, we charge for, as the board just decided, we charge for some of those bargaining
Yeah.
session meetings, we charge for superintendent
Law
searches,
books,
Education law
law
books.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
essentials books.
And you haven't collected the fund yet, so it goes in receivables.
Mhm.
Any other, wait,
I was gonna wait till next time, but I'll just ask, vacation payable is a negative? I'm
Yes.
just Curious.
Yes, that's the vacation payables from last year to this year, so that's, we get up to 10 days carried forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the number of days that were carried forward to this year.
It's a negative liability.
Yes, it's a negative liability.
Yes, that's,
Beca-
Right.
yes, I got it.
It's the liability carried forward.
Okay.
Contra account.
any other questions on the budget report? Fiscal report. All right, thank you, Kim.
Thank you all. Thanks, Carrie and Sue.
And then moving on to the consent agenda, included in the packet.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Actually, I found something that might need to be changed.
All right, go right ahead.
Yeah, number
Yep.
12,
I
yeah.
was gonna say, well, actually, I think throughout, I think Kevin's name, we just need to swap the Y and the O.
Aha.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
But on number 12, it says Don Collins, Franklin Regional Representative, made a motion to appoint Kevin as a Franklin Regional Representative. I think you need to.
Eliminated
supposed to
me,
say
you're the only one
Orleans.
here doing that now.
Yeah, Orleans North, Essex region.
Okay. Any other,
And Neil, this is a comment, and so I don't know if you want to comment before we vote on the minutes or not. It's not gonna change the minutes. But I have a comment about the minutes.
I'm in suspense here, go ahead.
Well, if you go to item number 6A, remember we discussed our staff and the things that we've been doing and maybe can't do everything with some new, reassignment. Sandra's taking on a little different job. We have a new executive director, and I think at the time you asked me if I was gonna make a motion, and I said, I wanna wait until after we eat. And I talked with Susan Holsom, and then made the motion, which is accurate, that I didn't think we should be doing searches or evaluations. And the rationale, I think it was discussed, was if we commit to doing it for non-members and then tie up our staff, and then somebody that's a member comes to us later in the game, we would be in a tough position. Do you say no to a late appearing member? So anyway, so that was motion. I got some negative feedback on it, saying that it looked like it was punitive, it might even be vindictive, and I just wanted to be on the record that that was never my intent, nor did I think anybody else at the table felt that way. But if you watch the video, it could look like it was being punitive to people who might be considering now or in the future that they didn't want to pay the dues.
Okay,
So I just wanted to put that on the record.
so received. Any other comments or changes to the minutes? All those in favor of the consent agenda? Aye.
Okay. Did you have a motion?
I
You started the
made a
motion, but
we
then
need a
somebody
second.
stopped
Sorry,
it.
is there a second on the, there we go.
Okay,
Kara
second
with
from
the
Kara
second.
Sweet.
Yep. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, motion carries, consent agenda is passed.
I just want to add one last little comment that our changing the webinar, we talked about in last minutes. I know our business manager was very happy with that.
Oh, good.
So thank you.
The
It's tomorrow.
registration for the webinar is huge. It's over 80, easily over 80 now.
He was, because we have a lot going on with superintendent search and negotiations, he was happy to have that ahead of time. So thank you.
Cool. All right, new business. So I do wanna say, so we didn't forget about the proficiency-based learning stuff.
Right.
We felt that the stuff that was in the agenda tonight was timely and needed to be addressed, and so we are looking to have the proficiency-based learning stuff included on next month's agenda. But other than that, are there other items that board members think we should be addressing?
Yeah, one thing that we've addressed in our SU because of Act 46 is the issue of representation, not being population-based and getting the AOE to approve it, and I could give an update on that. And also alternative members, board members at the SU level, and the AOE allowing us to do that, but they had certain criteria with it, and I could give an overview on where we ended up at our SU with AOE blessing. If that's of interest.
Yeah. You take that down. Is anybody interested in that?
Well,
That's not
I'm curious what you're talking about, so yeah.
Give a quick overview.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
All righty, well, we got two districts jammed into us at the last minute in this Act 46 process, and all of a sudden there were these huge disparities in how we were gonna be represented. And we decided that everybody, no matter your size, was gonna have 2 persons representing your district within our SU. We had a lot of discussion about it, and we went to Dan French and we said, we know this isn't statute, but this is what we want to do. And he had us do a position paper, and he approved it. And that's what we are now. We're a tiny district, we've got 2 members, and there's one with 1,000 kids in it, and they're 2 members.
Senate model.
Yeah, Senate model, and that's the way we thought that an SU board should operate, as like a Senate, and not a representation, House of Representatives.
Because in our district, we got a special approval, we came up with a different solution, but we got it approved ultimately, but, like, it's kind of nice when they let, Geo had the problem of they came up with their own solution, they got turned down. But it's helpful when when the powers that be.
So then the flip side of that
figure
was,
it out locally.
what if you could only have one representative make it because of a business trip or sickness or something, so you wouldn't be represented the way you wanted to be represented? So we said, could we have alternates approved as board members and they come in their place? And he said, no, absolutely not. And then as he thought about it, he said, if the representatives come to every meeting so that they're up to speed on what's happening at the SU level, we'll allow representatives to be voted on from each district. So we can substitute.
Quick question, how different are the sizes of your district?
Very, very large differences, very large. Yeah.
Is St. Johnsbury in your district?
No, not yet. There's a lot of talk about it. So anyway, I thought that might be of interest. You can really slice and dice this, and I found Dan French to surprisingly be pretty open-minded about it. Oh, that's all.
But didn't the state
I
board,
was just gonna say.
state board has to approve that though, right, state board of ed?
Well, and
Yeah,
then he ran
but
it.
I mean,
then he ran it by them,
have
but-
followed the recommendations from Dan
Okay.
on that matter, and usually, we get the whole paper that probably you guys have submitted, and a green paper with the agency's recommendation.
Right.
So I think to the extent it's agreeable locally and it doesn't violate the laws, I've noticed it seems Dan is willing to support that, and so is the state board then.
Is there, more to discuss than what you just talked about?
No, I just thought that might be of interest. I mean, people
Oh, no,
struggling
yeah, yeah.
with representation.
Yeah.
We made a lot of leeway. On the other hand, we had a reciprocal agreement going on between the districts, and he nixed that and told us it was illegal and made us stop it immediately. So,
Win one, lose one.
Yeah.
Any other topics that board members would like to see?
Sorry, I'm not a board member.
All right, Susan, go ahead.
Just a quick clarification, I just want to correct myself, the waiting study impact webinar will be on June 4th, not April or May.
Any other future agenda items that board members would like to see?
I don't think this is necessarily a future agenda item, but we have received a petition in Addison Northwest School District to have a vote on destroying the district.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
How, destroy could mean a lot of different things.
Well, break it up, I guess is a better way to put it. That they want, there's some towns that don't wanna be in anymore. And I'm just thinking, how the heck, I mean, even if they vote to pass it, don't we still need to get the AOE to okay it? I mean, and then, yeah, I mean.
Well, there were the two small towns that voted.
Mhm.
Of course, because, you know, one wanted to spend a whole lot of money on, you know, on a new building or on their building, and, you know, two, with like 200 kids and 100 kids or something.
Right, well, 65 and one,
Okay.
120.
So-
Jim, I think you're talking about a separate one, that, I can't remember what that is, but Lori's talking about Addison.
I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, that's another example where they did vote to actually do that,
Oh,
and that was a positive vote. They had one of the
Are you
districts
talking
voted.
about Halifax and Reading?
Yeah, one voted unanimously to leave, and the other has a vote coming up. But, so there's, you know, that's happening, and you could give people some ideas
They
to,
have to get approval from the
Unanimous.
board.
yes.
Wait, can I ask, when that happens, are those districts, are they part of an SU? Or
no,
they're just towns leading an SD, in which case they have no central administration, like, what do they think is gonna happen?
right, good point. Yeah, it's a school district, not an SU. And they wouldn't have any central. Cool. Yeah.
They're creative.
They expect to be.
Yep, all right, so if there are no other items, then, God, if Gio were only here.
I was just gonna tell you, I'll write him an
You should text him right
I will.
now. Everybody should text him at once, right?
I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All right, seconded by,
Sarah Sweet.
all those in favor,
Who is-
get up and.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Seconded by Mark.
Mark? Okay, remember guys, name and district
Oh,
and
yeah.
motions.
Yes. Drive carefully on the way home, and I
Has
also want
left
to
the
say,
conference.
a huge thank you for all of you guys that showed up tonight, because it wasn't great for me getting here. I greatly appreciate the effort that everybody made to come out and to be a part of this organization. It's amazing, so thank you so much.
And on that note, once a month, Carrie whines because she has to go chasing after board members to find out if